Tonight on an interview with an interesting person, Dave Albert, with your host, Kevin Schoen, Larry the Band, and me, Sexy Hermit.
Yeah! I'm Kevin Schoen. This is Interview with an Interesting Person, Larry the Band. Thank you very much. You're doing wonderful. So, people have told me you're very interesting.
Well, thank you.
Tell me,
for having me on.
yeah. Tell me all about it, man. What makes you really interesting?
Well, a landscaper for one.
Yeah!
And everyone needs my help, it seems like. So.
Of course, yeah. That's So I hear you're into urban gardening. You've kind of taken over a plot of land that somebody we know has rented it from the universe for a period that they're alive.
Okay.
Yep. And you wanted to know this. That would be me. Yes, I've rented it from the universe for a period of time. It's between two railroads.
Yep.
It's like a railroad intersection.
Yeah.
And so tell me about your urban gardening system,
Well,
experience,
the main thing is building the soil, you know.
Right.
Which...
That soil was totally horrible.
Yeah, it's right in between two railroads. So
right.
You get all the runoff.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of goes like this, too.
Yeah.
So.
Who knows what toxic chemicals are in that dirt.
Yeah.
But with enough mulch... enough little bacteria eating it away. Eventually, they'll make that soil nice and beautiful. So you're mulching back there too.
Yeah, the main thing is not so much the bacteria though; it's the fungi.
Ooh, the fungi.
Yeah, because
is it fungi or fungi?
It depends on what kind of guy you are.
You're a fungi guy. Okay. Now we know fungi guy. Okay. I didn't know that it mattered that much, but okay.
I don't know. I think that's what I gravitate to.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't know which one I've been leaning. Tomato. It's kind of one of those.
Yeah,
things.
it sounds fancier. I think fungi.
Fungi.
Most people from Michigan would probably say fungi.
Yeah. Well, so once you got the fungi going, what happens then?
That's what will actually eat up all the toxins and everything in there.
Oh yeah.
Like everything that's running off on the railroads, for one, is gonna purify that pretty much. But then it'll also break down everything you bring out there, whether it's leaves, wood chips, which those are the two main things. Bring in a bunch of leaves, wood chips.
Yep.
Just layer those where you really want all the leaves first, and then the wood chips, and then the water, everything. It just creates this fungal universe.
How's the trees doing out there? Sexy Hermit.
The wild ones are doing good, but not so much the ones that we transplant out there.
Yeah.
Which those are fruit trees. You don't really want to be eating anything out of there.
Right.
Right now, anyway.
How long do we want to wait?
I don't know. I think if you wanted to go out there and start a garden right now, you could just build a raised bed.
Should we test the soil?
No, because the solution's the same. We know it's contaminated, right?
I don't know. Do we?
Yeah. I would assume it is. I wouldn't trust any test that said it wasn't.
I wouldn't trust any test that said it.
Oh,
you did?
Rooster test.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was not horrible. I don't remember remember lead. I went to MSU, actually got it tested. Yeah, they didn't give it a horrible bill of health.
Yeah.
They weren't like, don't plant anything.
Here's what if I was going to grow food out there, I would build a raised bed and just bring out my own compost and make sure I'm not growing like potatoes or like a root vegetable, grow some greens or
probably why
vegetables that
well
or you can plant a bunch of sunflowers and they'll purify the soil.
Dude, I love sunflowers.
Yeah, and it'll attract the birds and
Yeah.
Just make the
The
environment
birds
better.
and the bees.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. I actually want to take some bees out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your plans for this year?
This year, I would say our biggest plans are we're getting bees for one. That's a new thing for us. We've got chickens in the garden, but we're getting bees this year.
What species of? Do you know what specific little? There's like hundreds of different types of honeybees.
It's
bees,
this is like an Italian. It's just kind of a standard Italian one, I think.
Oh, an Italian bee.
Yeah, we're getting 2 separate sets of bees. I'm not sure. Like most of them come from Georgia or like California.
Okay.
So I think all of ours are coming from Georgia, but I'm not 100% sure. So.
Okay. Well, you know, the Georgian bees. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a Georgian bee.
Yeah.
They'll
But
mess
no,
with. You know, I don't know if California and Georgians would get together. Like, if you took like Californians and Georgians and you stuck them in a room, would they get together really well? I don't know. But
I don't know.
you know, you'll know with bees pretty soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They could hybridize and become some crazy like new bee that takes over the known universe.
Yeah.
Possible.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other thing is that this is what we were growing for the
Corn.
last 2 or 3 years. It's kind of our main crop, you know.
Yeah.
It's something that's storable. You don't have to do anything to store
Yeah.
something. It's kind of like money,
Right.
you know.
You can just keep it for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, yeah. And it just sits there, and it has an inherent value to it. For one, you know, it's going to make sure I don't starve to death.
Right.
But
You
so
know-
we grew enough of this for the last couple years, and we still have it. It's like a couple years old and still good. But this year we're gonna grow soybeans.
Ooh, soybeans.
That's the new thing.
You know, I had this house on Saginaw, and I rototilled the entire front yard.
Okay.
And we grew just massive amounts of tomatoes, around 120 tomato plants.
Okay.
And true story, and I hope doesn't offend anybody, but a Mexican family stopped by and they asked us, "Hey, if we pick your tomatoes, can we have some of them?" And I was like, "Why, sure, because I can't keep up with the
they
tomato
probably noticed
picture."
they were rotting or something.
Well, he probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is, I felt kind of like, maybe this is politically incorrect to have the Hispanic Mexican friends picking the tomatoes, but they wanted them.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah,
They
you
saw
can
them
have
on the
them.
waste, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would leave me like paper bags of tomatoes behind my house. And they would take a couple paper bags of tomatoes, and they would just come by like every couple of days.
Yeah.
There'd be like 8 or 9 people, and it was that level of tomato production, dude. It was out of control.
Yeah, tomatoes are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, cherry tomatoes, I think, are the best. So, did you make this from that corn?
Yes. This was actually made today, our first attempt at...
Can I have some?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to have salsa.
All right.
Tell me, did you make the salsa?
Yes, it's all 100% homegrown. Tomatoes, peppers, there's tons of peppers in there. Onions, garlic.
Very tasty.
Then we have some extra spice, some super chili spice, homegrown, dried and ground up.
Now, wait, hang on. This came from where?
Yeah, this is straight from here. It's if you just took this and...
Yeah, but where did that come from?
this came from our garden in DeWitt Township.
Oh, okay.
We have
God,
a
I thought
garden.
I just thought it came from that
Yeah.
urban place that
No,
we're talking about.
no.
You just poisoned
This is from
me.
a garden we've been growing in for probably 5 years now.
Really?
So,
Okay. Well, you know we do 2 segments
Okay.
here. And we're kicking. This is what Larry says. Larry starts playing when it's time to go to segment 2. Yeah. So, this is Kevin Schoen, interview with an interesting person, Dave Alberts. We'll see you in a few minutes, man. Oh, okay.
But we always I got 4 brothers and sisters. So
The Alberts. Yeah.
Mike's up.
interesting person, part 2 of Dave Albert, with your host Kevin Schoen. Music by Larry the Band and me, Sexy Hermit.
Part 2 of Dave Albert. Singular, not plural like Dave Alberts. I can see how that'd be very confusing. Hey,
there is 2 of us.
We have a major technical difficulty right now. And I want anybody, I can recognize it immediately. And you know what I think it is? Our guest has an empty beer.
Oh,
if you'd like another beer, he's more than welcome. Okay, good. All right, man. Yeah. All right, want to be a good host, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, so we found out this is not from the toxic wasteland you're presently attempting to rehabilitate into a beautiful, wonderful sanctuary of food known as the Rooster.
Rooster Square.
Rooster Square. Even though it's really a triangle, but that's cool. Rooster Square is cool. So tell me about the corn.
Well, the corn is the main thing that when I started growing vegetables and just growing food for myself, that was the first thing I really got into growing food because I wanted to know what does it take to survive, like to grow my own food.
Right.
And so I wanted to know what I would grow.
Is this a post-apocalyptic fantasy of some
No,
sort?
not really. It's just kind of like
just in case,
just common sense, really.
Right.
Think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I wanted. So this is what I came to the conclusion that I should at least try to grow some corn.
Yeah. And that is some dark, deep blue corn.
Yes, really good for cornmeal.
Ooh, yeah. Totally.
And tortillas. This is more like a gordita.
Gordita, yeah. Kind of a thicker tortilla.
Yeah, a little thicker. Yeah.
Still working on the grinding technique.
Yeah, we're still working on the grinding technique. But the main thing this is good for is cornmeal, like making waffles or pancakes or cornbread.
What do you think about my shirt?
Your shirt?
Yeah.
That would make a good, probably a good corn that color.
Yeah, I mean, it's going country kind of, you know what I mean? Okay. So the question I have is, so you're growing corn, and what else are you growing?
We're growing pretty much everything.
Yep.
You know, everything, everything to make salsa, so tomatoes and peppers and onions, garlic, potatoes. We grew a lot of squash last year.
Are you selling any of it, or are you eating all of it?
We're just focusing on how to produce food for ourselves.
Okay, yeah.
So, we grew a lot of squash last year. I don't think we're going to grow too much of it this year.
Squash, you want a ton.
I mean, we do want a ton of it, but it was, we grew way. We're gonna have way more than we need.
You had
just from a little space.
You were like tired of squash, and you're like, listen, we need to go. Did you grow watermelons?
We have in the past, but they don't seem to really turn out. It's not really. It's kind of a luxury item,
Ooh, oh wait, this is your crop right up there.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
that's all the squash that we had last year.
Wow.
That was just maybe half of it.
So was that squash or were those pumpkins?
Well, it's all squash. So those are pumpkins.
Technically, they're all squash.
Those are sugar pumpkins made for for making pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Or whatever else you want. The stuff on the right is the butternut squash.
The left is
that is actually
acorn.
Technically what they make pumpkin pie stuff you can, but the stuff on the left is acorn. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
you can make that like a baked potato.
What's in back there? What's in back? I see some green stuff.
There's some spaghetti squash in the back.
Oh, okay.
Back right, and in the back left, Mother Hubbard.
Okay.
I don't think we ever ate any of the Mother Hubbard. But we've got all the chickens, so anything that we end up not wanting, we just throw it to the chickens.
How many chickens you got?
I want to plead the fifth on that one.
Oh, you? Wow. We could be breaking the law here. Is that what we're
not
doing?
A nuisance, that's
so,
for sure.
not a nuisance, that's for sure. But we're technically out of compliance with the urban chicken law, which I think is, 5 chickens these days?
You're allowed 5 chickens.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do they do if you have 5.5? Or 6?
Nothing really. I mean, it's,
Ooh, look, there's your chickens. I think, oh my gosh, you gotta take that.
Oh, I think there's more than 5 right there.
Yeah, kick that over to the program.
There
we go. Oh my gosh, we're over the little, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
My wife and I eat at least 6 eggs every morning for breakfast.
How many chickens do you eat?
We don't eat the chickens.
But what if
That's actually against the law too in the city.
It is?
You can't keep your chickens for slaughtering for meat.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they just had friends visiting. That's all I found. Those are actually his.
Yeah, those are wild chickens. They flew in.
Yeah. Chicken buddies are the neighbors' chickens. So, but the question is, why don't you eat your chickens? Are you, kind of vegetarian? Or?
No, not necessarily. We actually sell chicken feed, and we have a customer who raises chickens for meat, and we buy chicken from them, and we trade chicken feed for it. So.
When I was young, we had about 100 chickens, and I'll tell you this story about.
Really?
Yeah, you want to hear this story? It's a really good story. Every time you get 100 chickens, there'd be one of them like with a brown feather, or maybe one with a couple of red feathers.
Yeah.
And my sisters would say to me, and my brothers, they would be like, "Oh, that's our favorite chicken, the little red feather chicken. Isn't he so cute and nice and wonderful?" And we would say, "Oh, yeah, that's a wonderful chicken." And eventually we'd have to kill all these chickens because we were raising them for meat. And we would kill all the chickens and we'd put them all in plastic bags and we'd throw them into this big freezer. And then we'd be eating chicken dinner. And one time out of the fall or the spring or whatever it was, we would be eating our chicken, my brother and I, and we'd be eating it, we'd be tasting it, be like, "Ooh, wow, this chicken tastes especially good." And my brother would be like, "Wow, it does. It just has a little tang to it." And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I think it is." And then I think it is a really nice chicken. And then Steve would walk over there and he'd go to the sink and he'd be like, where the plastic bag was, and he'd be like, "Oh, Kevin, guess what chicken this is?" And I'd be like, "What chicken?" And he would say, "It's red feather." And then my sisters, who were like younger, would just go bonkers. And they would jump up and scream and start crying. "What? We're eating red feather. Oh my God, Mama." They'd run screaming out of the kitchen. And of course, my mom would be very upset with us, and we would be laughing like crazy.
That's why you don't name them.
Right.
You don't name them, you don't pet them.
Right. Yeah. Don't.
Like we have one chicken that we call One Eye.
Oh.
She's got one eye.
Yeah.
She got attacked by a raccoon. Not when we had her. She was one of our first chickens, but
this was
that's
prior...
the only one that we have a name for is One Eye. But we'll never eat her. When she dies, she dies. She goes in the compost bin.
Okay. Well, I mean,
That works.
that's interesting. Well, so One Eye. So you're the irresponsible previous chicken owner. Let it get attacked by a wolverine?
Yeah, kind of. Well, it's a raccoon. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it definitely got attacked by a raccoon and lost an eye.
Okay. All right, that's our cue. This is interview with an interesting person. Tonight our guest has been Mr. Dave Albert. No, it's no S.
No S.
Mr. Dave Albert.
Did I say S?
You did. Totally said yes.
Oh, that's all right.
And this is an interview with an interesting person, and we're signing off. Mr. Dave Albert.
Great Albert.
Wonderful, man. Do we want to do a third one?
We can talk
We've
about
never done a
things.
third one before.
One more, sure, if you want.
I was
Yeah,
wondering
sure.
why you make them so short.
People have